It's Tom for Radio Express. We are live at RadioDays Europe here in Athens, Greece, and our next conversation is with a man who works at one of the best named radio stations I think I've heard of so far at the conference, Calypso Radio.
Yes.
Fantastic. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
So tell us a bit about it. So Malta,
yes,
number one radio station.
Malta, it's Calypso Radio on 1.8. We're Malta's most listened to radio station. To be fair, there's another station, we bounce off, it's either first or second, but the other station is a political radio station. We're a music station, live 24/7, every single day. Fabulous team, thank God, and that helps a lot when it comes, of course, to audience share and reaching your target audience.
Fantastic. And what's the radio landscape like in Malta? Tell us a bit about that.
It's very competitive. Of course, we're a small island, so there are 13 national radio stations, 3 owned by the government of Malta. Then there are 2 other radio stations which are politically owned. The church also has its own radio station.
Oh, wow.
And then it's the other private radio stations, mostly dedicated to music. Some target a younger audience. We target the demographic 35 to 60, where we've been leaders now for a good 4 years in the demographic.
Wow. Congratulations, that's no mean feat.
Thank you. It's a team effort, and I think that's what I meant earlier,
Yeah.
When you work together, I think for a common goal, it makes it just much more easier.
Yeah.
And fabulous audience.
There you go, exactly. Give us an idea of the scale of your team that are working at Calypso Radio.
Well, the full team at the radio station is made up of roughly 35 individuals. We rarely change our schedule, even because no one actually wants to leave. So wherever there's something which we believe can be changed to make it better, everybody is cooperative, and of course we have our moments of discussion. No, we have to do this way. Yes, because and there's a time for discussion, for ideas, creation, and I think that is exactly the moment where a station can grow. And we do commit mistakes, of course, but we have to be very fast in reacting.
Yeah, this is a theme of conversations that we're having at the conference, actually. It's sort of like how we're all adapting and changing with the times, with advances in technology and AI and things like that. So it's interesting to hear that it's exactly the same in Malta. And how are you sort of approaching that change, technologically and with advances?
Well, yes, I think it all boils down to how you look at radio. Radio, the way we see it is podcasts are nice, but they are a different kind of thing, on their own. Radio, on the other hand, remains the most intimate medium one could listen to, perhaps one could communicate with. And we live in an age where communication is made much easier. When I was young, I'm almost 49 years. When I was young, to communicate with my friends, I had to either meet them face to face, or perhaps call them using the dial-up phones.
Yeah.
Today, my daughter, who is 20, she can communicate with me live from anywhere, blah, blah, blah. But although it's easier, it doesn't mean that there is a lot of effective communication going on. And we get that a lot of time, even in our surveys, in the same research we do. So I think that people aged 35 plus are turning back to radio after a while, of exploring Spotify and other media. Simply because it's nice to hear someone playing music you like. Mm-hmm. And even learning about new music sometimes, new artists, a little bit of interesting information, news, of course, as well.
Yeah.
So I think that whatever you do in radio, we have to think of radio as still being the most intimate medium one could follow.
100%. So it's that personality, that human connection. For me, that's what radio is all about. Connecting people.
You have your own show, and it's me as a listener. Once I listen to you once, twice, it's like we become kind of friends.
Yeah.
So then I'm interested in what you do in your daily life, when you comment about traffic or something. It's incredible, the connection and bond one, the level it reaches at some point. It's really, really intimate, and I think that is why radio is still going on quite strongly, I have to say.
It's the relatability, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Streaming and AI, it's that human touch that those things, whilst they serve their purpose, they will never see the end of radio.
Yes.
That's how radio will carry on. We're asking everyone how something that you're excited about in terms of the radio industry, and something that you're slightly more wary of in terms of the radio industry? So both sides of the coin, what you...
Yes, I think radio has faced many challenges. Even here, AI is, of course, taking over the discussion quite a lot of time. Mm-hmm. But let's not forget that when MTV, I still remember the early days of MTV. When MTV, they said, okay, radio is done. Now it's all about seeing our idols and singers. But, radio is still here. And in many countries, radio is much more followed than actual television stations. So much so that now I think we are discussing mass medium all over again and rethinking the way we approach. So if you had, a budget and you were to spend it on advertising or whatever you want to send a message, would you rather choose TV or radio? Probably in most countries, you will realize that along the day, especially, but even in evenings, radio is your preferred method of choice. And there are a lot of reasons for that. So I think AI will inevitably, once again, take over a lot of discussions throughout this year and the years to come. But I'm pretty sure that radio will, again, prevail, perhaps even through by using AI, but not the other way around. AI will not stop radio, but it will rather assist radio in becoming stronger.
Have you adopted AI in any areas at Calypso Radio so far? Or?
Not yet, although we do use AI, but not yet in an extreme way, kind of way, Of course, it's a tool and you use it, but let's not forget that radio remains the most intimate and thus followed medium, and I think it will get stronger as days go by, as years go by.
I feel like as well, if you're not changing your lineup of presenters at Calypso, then the loyalty amongst listeners with those people, the connections that they must have, must be even stronger than most other radio stations that maybe change their lineup.
Listen, I'm very open about our strategies and what we do and what it is. I think that if we still keep in mind this radio thing and how radio works, if I build a bond with you as a host, I will try to keep that relationship and actually work and strive hard to make it stronger. Mm-hmm. Then of course, things change and the people change as well, and people stop sometimes also for radio, because radio is not for everyone as well. So then you have to deal with that situation. But as much as possible, I would suggest even to everyone, just keep your lineup. If it's working, just keep that. If it's not working, try to see why. Changing a host might not always be the same, the answer to that problem.
It might have the detrimental impact.
Of course.
Fascinating insight, and thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure. Radio Express, I hope this will be the start of many, many more meetings.
Oh, likewise. Thank you so much. And stay with us on the stream for more interesting conversations like this one.